You don't need me to tell you that there's a listing crisis going on in the real estate industry right now. And you've heard the adage before that whoever controls the inventory controls the marketplace. So today what I want to talk about is what I think is a very simple, straightforward, social media driven approach to attracting listings and positioning you as the ideal listing agent in your local marketplace. Now, to do this, I'm going to actually borrow something that Tom Ferry talked about at the Elite Retreat about a month ago for our coaching members. At that event, Tom shared what I thought was a brilliant strategy that tons of our coaching clients are executing on right now, whereby you share 30 days of Instagram Reels, 30 seconds a pop, where you answer 30 real estate questions. And so our coaching members, a lot of my clients personally have been working on this. 30 questions, 30 days, and every reel can last for 30 seconds. And it is powerfully positioning agents as knowledge brokers. Now, as we've been working through this, we've noticed there's one question that really seems to ring true for a lot of consumers right now who feel gridlocked by the marketplace. They say things like, how do I buy a house when I have to sell, either first or simultaneously? How do I buy a house like when I have to sell? Or you could flip the question and say, how do I sell? Like if I sold my house, great. I can get multiple offers. I know how the market works right now. I can get above asking price. Yay, 2 thumbs up. But even if I do that, where am I supposed to go? Am I going to end up homeless? How do I buy? Am I going to be outbid by somebody else? What's the lesser evil here, right? And so that challenge of how do I buy when I have to sell? The thing we've been doing with a lot of our coaching members is as they've been doing their 30 days of reels, we've been actually focusing on that one question in particular. And so the feedback I want to give you today is maybe try answering just that one question 10 times in a row, and you answer it 10 different ways. And so today what I want to give you is 10 ways to answer that question. And I'm envisioning that you're going to basically do a reel, which is a 30-second vertical video on Instagram per each of the possible answers. And you seek to really add value in the marketplace, because to me, that is a systemic challenge right now for a lot of consumers who are like, you know what, I want to sell my house. I want to reap the benefits of this amazing market. But the challenge is, where would I go? How would I buy? And so today I want to break down 10 ways 10 options, so to speak, that you can then take each one and put it in its own respective reel and do it over the course of 10 days. Here's the list. Ready? Drum roll, please. First one up is they can purchase new construction. You can talk about the pros and cons, ins and outs. You got 30 seconds of new construction. Maybe there's a development where it's semi-custom or it's pre-built or spec or whatever, but talk about new construction as an option. Option 2 is they could consider buying land, which is less of an investment up front, and then doing a custom build and maybe space things out a little bit so their debt to income can allow them to do more at the same time. Maybe that's a solution for them. Number 3 is get a bridge loan. So that's a popular concept where it's like, hey, I need the proceeds out of the sale of my current home to buy the next home, but I don't want to go in making a sale of home contingent offer. That's a weak offer. And so if I can get a bridge loan to spot me the money, that'll really help, right? That's a bridge loan. Or some people basically create their own bridge loans and they do HELOCs. In fact, I've had friends do this where they're like, hey, I got a house, I renovated the house, it's got plenty of headroom in terms of possible home equity, so I'm gonna go take a home equity line of credit on my current property as basically an advance to fund the purchase of my next home, and then they go sell the home after all that's done. I had a friend do that, it worked out very well for him. Now, obviously, we're brokers, we're agents, we know that there's a risk to doing all this stuff, right? You're licensed. I defer the liability of knowing that stuff to you guys. We're just here to give the options and to give the feedback and advice. That's another option. So it's a bridge loan and or a HELOC. The next one, I'm on number 5 on my list, is maybe they opt to rent for a little bit. Hey, listen, if you want to take advantage of this seller's market and you don't want to rush right into the lion's pit, so to speak, as a buyer, maybe renting right now for a period of time. Maybe things cool off. I don't know when, you don't know when, but maybe they cool off. If you want to consider renting for a time, let's do that. Number 6 is explore less competitive price points or areas. You know, I think a lot of consumers are under the impression that it's par for the course. Every market, every price point, every segment of the United States, Canada, and abroad is all the same kind of a thing. It's super competitive everywhere you go. That's not necessarily the case, right? And so getting knowledge out about, hey, when we see price points between here and here, maybe there's a better option. Or if we go to this little area, this pocket over here, we're seeing a little bit looser circumstances and you can be a bit more competitive as a buyer. Number 7, this is the 7th reel, and I don't really like this one, but it's an option, right? It's make a contingent offer. In other words, when you submit your offer to purchase a property, did you know, because maybe they don't know, that you can make an offer contingent on the sale of your home. You might take that for granted and think it's a horrible idea, and I don't disagree with you per se, but they may not know it's an option. And right now what we're talking about is, how do I loosen the wheels? How do I get people thinking about their options so they can move forward? Again, going back to Tom Ferry at Elite Retreat. Tom basically said, hey, we should loosen our definition of a listing appointment. Let's have a conversation about what selling looks like for you, if it looks right for you, when it looks right for you, how we do it. And this entire idea here is just further designed to do what Tom's already done with the 30 days of Reels, but really dig into what are the options to help you make that transition when you're able to sell, but you're not sure how the buying side goes if they have to be done at the same time. All right, next option is number 8, discuss seller financing. One, that could help you with some debt to income stuff, but there could be a seller out there who's like, hey, I'd like to make some interest over 15, 20, 30 years. And so maybe seller financing is an option for you or for your client. I'm speaking through you to your clients, right? Next one on my list is negotiate a lease back. So, hey, we got a contingent offer. We got multiple offers. We're the seller. Hey, are you open to a lease back? And we do 30, 60, 90 days of post-closing occupancy. Or maybe you're not comfortable with having that occur, and so you do like an extended closing. So instead of saying, hey, we're going to close and then lease back, instead we then delay, we kind of clear through all the conditions of the contract, appraisal, inspection, and stuff like that. And then we have this other period thereafter where we just basically are, hanging out in our own property as a seller, looking for the next one to buy, and we delay closing, we extend the closing period. If you want like possession to occur simultaneously. So it's a lease back and or extended closing period. Those are, again, every one of these comes with pros and cons, possible risks, but they're options. And that's what I think a lot of people need right now is, what can I do? I feel stuck. I feel frozen. And then I'm on my last one, number 10, which is, actually that was number 10. I just wrapped it up. I went through 10. It was purchase new construction, buy land and custom build, get a bridge loan, pull a HELOC, opt to rent, explore less competitive areas or price points. It was make a contingent offer, discuss seller financing, negotiate a leaseback, and then last, the option I came up with is work out an extended closing period. That's 10 days of Reels where you really seek to add value and answer that one really difficult question for folks. I want to buy, but how do I do that when I have to sell? How can you add value and be the knowledge broker in your community? Now, I'm willing to bet that some of these are better than others and that you have better ones that you have to share with me in a comment. So if you could please, if you have another option to our list of 10, let's make it 11, 12, 100 options. Let's give consumers as many options as we can possibly fathom and imagine to help them move forward. Because right now, like the market's strong, but it's complicated. Those were the words Tom Ferry used. It's complicated, right? How can we, with our information, with our knowledge bases, help buyers, help sellers make the best decisions in the context of this marketplace?